guess after looking at it again on film, especially looking in regards to the run game, which worked so well in the first week, what do you feel went wrong there?
First half, offensively, third downs. We had 4 plays and a punt, messed up on a route. Next time we had 6 plays and a punt. I think we dropped the pass. Next drive we had 4 plays and a punt. We got a ball batted at the line of scrimmage. We had a third down and 1. We did a little toss crack play. We didn't get a puller. So just 4 or 5 drives there in the first half. Third downs were the nemesis. You convert 3 of those things, you keep drives going, you get your run-pass ratio where you want it, and you're controlling the game more than we did.
Also on first down, a lot of struggles there in the run game. Why was that, do you feel?
Yeah, we had some struggles in the run game throughout the course of the game on first down. A lot of their movement we didn't handle very well. We missed-targeted a couple runs, which is uncharacteristic. But overall, you just can't point to one person or one position. It's a running game. I've said it 3,000 times that it's a total team effort when it doesn't work and when it does work.
There was a report that Rashad Perriman was here today working out. Did he work out, and did you guys sign him?
Yeah, he worked out. We had about 4 or 5 guys work out today, and some tight ends, and set a workout. If we were to sign anybody, we got to figure out a roster spot, which we're in the process of doing. We don't know who we're going to sign yet. Just a couple good players at that workout.
Any injuries to clear that for roster spot? Or?
I think the only one of significance could be Rob Kelly with his toe. We're getting, he hit it pretty good, got it pretty good, so I don't know if he's got to go have surgery or not. It could be a month and a half type deal, but we're getting the final word here soon.
Jay, aside from the X's and O's, a couple of players said after the game last night that there was a lack of energy, like a low energy vibe in the building on the sideline before the start of the game. Did you sense that? And if you did, is there any way to change that before next week?
I think what happened was they took the opening drive and went 75 yards for a touchdown. Right, we got hit in the mouth right there on the opening drive. We never were able to establish any momentum, get it back at all. Defensively, they gave us a couple opportunities with turnovers there in the second half. We failed to capitalize on them. We failed to grab the momentum at any point in the game. So there's really, unfortunately, we never really had a chance to play with a lot of great energy. We're trying our hardest to get the momentum back, but we just couldn't do it.
Yeah, you said on that 3rd and 1 pitch that you didn't have a puller.
Yeah.
Was there a missed assignment, or did somebody get tangled up in the line, or what happened with that?
No, we're supposed to have a puller. We blocked it wrong. Yep.
Jay, what's the balance between taking what the defense is giving you on offense and, pressing and doing what you guys want to do and, taking the shots when you want to? Because obviously you want to take what they give you, but you can't just do that all the time.
Yeah, we called some shot plays there. We, had to check a few of them down. We, sent guys vertical quite a bit. And, there's a fine line there. Taking completions isn't the end of the world, but there towards the end of the game, we probably should have pushed the envelope a little bit, tried to get the ball down the field. The only chance we had there, especially after the fumble, But other than that, I think the decisions that were appropriate at the time. He could have probably tried to jam a couple down there. But turnovers aren't good either. So, we'll take a look at it, try to get some more shots down the field, big plays. We didn't get any against Arizona really other than the little dump off to Adrian. We didn't really get any this week either. So it's something we have to look at, try to get more of.
Kind of along the same lines, what's the balance between sticking with a game plan that you obviously put a lot of time into during the week and believed in versus making the adjustments like you guys did in the third quarter in terms of the timing of kind of abandoning the original plan?
Well, we didn't really have to abandon it until Jordan's fumble. Really, we pushed it. I think we had 7.5 minutes to go. We're down by 2 scores. Really, we're still right in the thick of the game. Had the ball at the 25-yard line and fumbled. We scored there. We still had 4.5 minutes left, 3 timeouts left. We're still able to do what we wanted to do. But I don't think you abandon a game plan until you're down 2 scores and have to throw it.
Maybe abandon's the wrong word. You guys clearly tweaked it, as you talked about last night, in terms of more quick game, getting the outside guys involved in that way. So how do you balance, sending them deep like you originally planned versus kind of making that smaller adjustment then?
Yeah, I think we still want to try to get the running game going. We're unable to do it other than a little inside zone that Adrian popped there later for about 12 yards. We were stuck in a lot of second and long, third down and longs that we had to throw it. So ideally, you stay out of those second and longs where we try to get some drives going and you're able to stick with your plan, so to speak, where you have more nakeds, you have more play passes, you have more runs. But when you're out 4 plays and out, and then 3 plays and out, and then 6 plays and out, and then 5 plays and out, you don't establish anything, and we never did throughout the course of the game. And then we had the big fumble, of course, and, that's just the way it is. If you're not converting on third down, you're not establishing anything, and that's the story of the tape.
Jay, a lot was made yesterday of the sellout streak coming to an end, and today Chris Thompson said he was surprised to see so many empty seats there at FedEx yesterday. Did you notice that?
I did not notice it. No, I'm trying to, get ready for a game and did not notice it.
Jay, how can you get Ryan and Preston and those edge rushers kind of a little bit more involved, maybe not involved, but a little bit more successful in bothering the quarterback?
Yeah, we rush them. You got to rush them, and then they got to try to finish, and try to get them in some more third down and longs. They had about 5 or 6 third down and threes or less, I believe, and that's a tough rush down. The ball's coming out quick. They're doing quick pick plays and quick crossing routes, and it's very hard for an edge player to get pressure or sack when the ball's coming out that got. When they did have third down and long, we did feel some heat. Got a tipped interception, got another interception later. So we did get some heat, but the key is first, second down. We got to do a better job of getting them in third and long. Stay out of those, and when they did get third and long, they ran, a couple screens. So was I able to get home.
Today, were you kind of impressed with or not impressed? Did you like the way that your guys came back after yesterday into the building today and the way they went about things, or is it?
I think everybody's obviously very disappointed, and anytime you lose a game, it's hard to get up and come to work. But I think guys are focused on the next one. That's the only way we can be. It's on to the next one. It always is, win or lose, and put this behind it. We have to learn from our mistakes without a doubt. The energy factor was a factor. We got to figure out ways to boost these guys up more in pregame warm-up and get them a little bit more energized, so to speak, get the fans involved, get their adrenaline flowing. That's on us as coaches probably more so. But I like the way these guys came in. I think they're a no-nonsense approach. They're ready to fix things and move on.
Have you kind of wanted to see how this team would handle adversity a little bit? I mean, obviously you don't want it this way, but I mean, you
don't want it this way. I think first half, obviously we saw some adversity. We had a great start to the Arizona game, so we never really faced any adverse situations. Week 2, terrible start. They go down to score. We can't do anything on offense. Going at halftime and we're down, and we faced. We had to look ourselves in the mirror, bounce back in the second half, and defense tried to get us some stops, but offensively we just couldn't do anything.
How much do you expect to see what Indianapolis did with other teams that you guys will face in terms of game planning? Like, will teams take a look at what they did and try to replicate with that within their own scheme?
Well, they're very similar to, there's a few teams that are kind of similar. You have some of your Atlanta, Seattle type teams. You have your Dallas, Indianapolis Colt type teams. You have your Green Bay, they're under front teams and coverage teams. So there's a lot of teams that have similarities that do what they do and do it well. They played a lot of zone defense, only about 3 or 4 snaps a man the entire day. And had a lot of movement up front, stopped our running game. So I'm sure we'll see some versions of that, but probably not this week because Coach Pettin's a totally different coach, a totally different scheme than obviously Indy.
So then when you face a different scheme, how much are you emphasizing the previous mistakes of needing to get?
We correct those, after the game in-house and try to do things better and make sure we understand if when they do come back up, we are on top of it. Not a whole lot of mental mistakes, really, just a couple targeting errors in the running game. Mental mistakes weren't that many. We just physically got beat a few times and had a couple physical drops and, a few of those things and the fumble. But overall, we just have to continue to learn from our stuff and move on.
Jay, they were able to get you guys consistently with the pick plays. What were the conversations like to try to clean that up? Did you guys ever consider going zone? And if not, why did you guys stick with that and just try to kind of, clean up the communication and think that was the best
we just have
path?
to get different levels and not get picked. You have to be more physical at the line of scrimmage if you're at the line of scrimmage. And you slough off if you're playing bump and run. If you slough off, your chances of getting picked are pretty good. So we just got to be more physical, play our leverage, know where our help is, and do a better job in that regard and play it. That's the big thing is playing at different levels.
How much with the some of the downfield stuff with the passing game, and I know they're playing what kind of zone they're playing, all that, but how much of that could you attribute to? Is there still the growth period that's going on within this offense? New quarterback, new running back, some new parts, and all that.
Not really any. I think they just didn't come. We called a couple of them, like I said, and they didn't come up. When you're having to punt after 4 or 5 play drives, you start the series, you're trying to get something going. Maybe it's a quick game. Maybe you're trying to run one of your feature runs, and then you're 2nd and 11. Then you're trying to get that 10, 11 yards right there. You're not trying to pump the ball 50 yards down the field. We just didn't have a lot of great situational type. We tried one on the 2nd play of the game. I had to check it down to Adrian. We tried a couple others. Had to check them down because coverage dictated that's where we went. But we'll continue to push it.
And I'm not even just talking about the deep balls, but just the growth of the pass game downfield more with the receivers. Do you feel like that's still – is that an evolution, I guess? That's still
No, I
going?
think they're good. They're in good shape. Like I said, we preach on taking what the defense gives you. And, Alex does a great job of that. And, there'll be a time and place for everything. We'll take some shots in another game here, hopefully soon, and go from there.